Alright, in this video we're going to be looking at abstract classes and abstract methods. To start off, I've got a base class here I've called item. I've got a couple of basic variables in here, and I have a toString method. From item I have derived a tool class, and this is going to have an enum in it. That's all I put there for now, just what grade of tool it is. And then I've also derived a consumable class, and I added an integer there for number of charges. And I sort of have like an RPG type video game in mind here with these classes. So that's where I'm going with this. If we want to make an abstract class, we're just going to come up here and type the word abstract. And if you don't know, an abstract class means you cannot create any objects from this class. This class now exists for the sole purpose of deriving other classes like I've done down here. And so if we were to come down into main and try to create an item, we're going to get an error. And you'll see it highlights it in red, and it says item is abstract, cannot be instantiated. Now we can still use item reference variables, but we cannot actually create an item object. The second thing is it's going to allow you to create abstract methods. So we can come down here and say public abstract void use. Let's say I want to be able to use my items in my game, and I'm going to use a use function to do that. Now it doesn't make any sense to use just an item. We would need to know what type of item it is and how it's going to be used. So I can create an abstract method called use. It ends with a semicolon instead of a set of curly braces. And that's going to enforce two things on all derived classes. They either have to define this method use. So notice these are now in red. I've got errors there. Or they also have to declare this as abstract. And if they declare it as abstract, they will also have to become an abstract class. And we'll look at doing it both ways. So let's say for tool, I want to pass the buck, so to speak. I'm going to also declare this use method to be abstract. I can say public abstract void use. And that would be fine if tool was abstract. So I can put the word abstract up here, and now this class is okay. I can no longer create a tool, but I can still derive classes from it, and we'll do that in just a minute. The other way of handling this abstract method is to go ahead and write a definition for it. So I can say void use, we'll say public void use, and just provide some definition here. So consumable was used. I'll just print that out, and I will take the number of charges down by 1. So that's the two ways of handling an abstract method. And now I said we would extend the tool class again, so we can do that now. We can say class pickaxe extends tool. And it's in red because I have not done anything with this method yet. All I have to do is provide a definition for it. The definition doesn't have to do anything, it just has to be there. So public void use. And now my pickaxe class meets all the requirements. And I would add other stuff in here, constructors, maybe other variables and things like that. But this is the framework. This is how abstract classes and abstract methods work. And you may be asking, why would I want to use an abstract class? You have to keep larger projects in mind. You have to think that you may be working with other people, and it may be important for whatever reason that item is never instantiated. It also may be important that if a subclass is derived from item, that this method can work. And that way, if you're running a large array of items and use is called, it doesn't matter what derived class it is, this method is going to have some definition for it. So that's the reason for those rules. And so now I can say item, items, array equals new items. Let's just say I need an array of 5 reference variables. I'm not creating an item here. This is just an array of reference variables. And now I could fill that array up with anything from my tools class or from my consumable class. So I can say new pickaxe, and that would work just fine. And I'll go ahead and just make them all pickaxes to speed this up. Now with my array of items, I could run a for loop and just call use, and that would work just fine. And it doesn't matter if these are pickaxes or consumables or what they are. Polymorphism is going to work to determine what type of item that is in the array, and then it will go to the correct class and call that version of use. I'm going to go ahead and put a message in my pickaxe here, just so I can see that it is being used. And now you can see the program works just fine. So that's abstract classes and abstract methods. With the abstract class, you can no longer create any object from that class. With the abstract method, any class that is derived from this class must either provide a definition for this method or be an abstract class and declare this method as abstract. So those are the 2 rules that are imposed on any derived classes from an abstract class.